Hola, my name is Brian. New Year. I've been volunteering in La Ceiba, Honduras for the past 3 weeks from December 19th, 2015 to January 19th, 2016. I've been working in the La Hospital Lantida and La Clinica, which is similar to an urgent care back in the States. Rafael has been my in-country coordinator, and he's been definitely an awesome guy. If I could do it again, I'd want to live in this house. The accommodations were great. We had running water, good my own bedroom. So I mean, basically anything that you could have asked for, I guess. The meals were good. It's all rice, beans, and plantain based. So everything's based around those three. You'll get some meats every now and then, so that's good. Let's see. So my most surprising thing at the program so far, it's the things that I've been able to do. So as soon as you feel comfortable, after watching some of the staff do it, they'll let you take the reins and do it yourself. So I sutured multiple wounds, took out stitches, cleaned deep lacerations and diabetic ulcers, and casted broken arms and legs. I also watched numerous surgeries, so it's been definitely a great experience for me to come here. The house was awesome that I lived in. It was definitely middle to upper class in the city, which I wasn't expecting. I was kind of expecting something definitely not like this, so I don't know, I probably won't go into that. And really the people in the country, the locals are just, they're awesome here. They're eager to learn about you as much as you want to learn about them. They're hospitable and friendly, and they just treat you with respect. So it's definitely a place that I would recommend coming to, even just for vacation, just to see people here, because it's really nice. So definitely my most difficult experience, something coping with this country, is the lack of supplies. In the clinic, most of the time they don't have bed sheets and just bring in one person after another. Even if the previous person had a deep ulcer cleaning or abscess drainage, because I mean, there could still be just liquids on the bed, and just wipe them off. But disinfectants, it's not really a commodity they have. The rooms, no air conditioning, so you sweat all day. The beds the patients stay on are ripped and broken. The patients must bring in supplies to get treated, like with a catheter insertion, because the clinic can't afford to insert it, and pay them back. Sorry. Yeah, so obviously the clinic inserts it, but we can't afford to insert it first and then have the patient pay us back. So that was one thing that was definitely kind of hard to see, is if they didn't have money, well, they weren't going to get treated. So the portion sizes of food were a little small, for me at least. So I got used to it, so I just settled for eating a little less. But every now and then I would go to get some food at the mall or street vendor. One thing I'll never forget is how almost all the houses that could afford them would have extremely high fences or security measures. Some even looked like prisons with barbed wire. It's definitely something to see. This is all to prevent burglary and theft, but it's very different knowing we have open yards and houses next to one another in the States. There were also some things I saw that were heartbreaking, like a horse walking on the sidewalk with every bone showing. Something that really bothered me was when I worked an overnight shift at the hospital. I went outside at 4 a.m. to get a snack and noticed a woman shivering under this tin shelter outside the hospital gates. It had been raining all day, and it was the coldest night since I've been there. She looked like she didn't bathe in a month and was beyond skinny, so I went and I got her water and some bread cakes, but it was still very hard to see. The locals live with people like this all the time, so it doesn't really faze them to see someone struggling this bad. They look the other way most of the time. We have homeless people in the States but compared to these people, they have it good. Soup kitchens and food shelters. So yeah, that was tough to see. So some tips for future volunteers: definitely don't need a sweater or sweatshirt. It's too hot. No. It's always humid, even in December, which is the time that I came. Bring shorts and shirts and some nice clothes to go out to clubs and bars. Donations, bring medical supplies, lots of medical supplies. If that's not an option, then just bring money, because they can definitely buy it themselves. But like me, on the other hand, I brought hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, so I didn't donate any money. Weather, the days are hot and humid, the nights are breezy and humid. It's always humid. So be prepared to sweat. But other than that, the weather here is gorgeous. It's awesome. Some things the volunteers should know. You will be paying for your own taxi to and from the hospital. It doesn't cost much. It's 25 lempiras, which 22 lempiras is $1. So, but you're paying for that each way, and sometimes you'll go to the clinic after you'll go to the hospital after you went to the clinic. So, you could be paying $4 a day. So just keep that in mind. When the food is all local based, around rice, beans, and plantains. The rice and the beans are amazing, but I wasn't a big fan of the plantains. So my personal paragraph is: this was an amazing trip for me, and I would recommend it to anyone considering a future in medicine. You will see and do things you never thought possible being an undergrad, and hopefully it will help solidify your career path in medicine. After this trip, I realized medicine is for me, and I want to pursue medical school. I also realized OB/GYN is not for me. I was really fascinated with emergency trauma and surgery in the ER. We saw gunshot victims, stab victims, firework victims, and many motor accident victims. You will see some things you are not prepared for, like possibly witnessing death. Seeing someone die was hard for me, but it's part of life, and you have to realize there are more people who need help, so you need to move on and focus on them. Me rating my accommodation, meals, and security, I rated accommodations and housing a 10 out of 10. It was fantastic where I lived and the different things that I got here. The meals were an 8 out of 10, and security was 10 out of 10. Not once did I feel unsafe here. So it's been a very relaxing trip. My favorite memory of the trip, aside from all medical aspects, I became very good friends with the other volunteers. Hopefully a friendship, that lasts a lifetime. Every weekend we went to different locations and traveled around Honduras. I would recommend Cayos Cachinos, which is an island where Survivor was filmed, and also Utila, which is a big party island. Everyone there speaks English, so it's awesome. The country, just absolutely beautiful here. It's so scenic. The trees are green, the water's blue. It's by far the most beautiful place I've ever been to. Website's good. My favorite part of the website was seeing the reviews prior to coming to Honduras, seeing what people described, and actually some of the same stuff that I'm describing to you. So it's kind of nice to see how that portrays out. But yeah, that was definitely a cool part of the website, being able to watch the videos and read people's comments after leaving the country. What they said. I'll definitely willing to speak to anybody if they want to talk to me about Honduras and what I've seen, what I've been through, what kind of to be prepared for. Yeah. Alright.
Thank you, Brian, for being volunteer with our brother View Honduras.
Thank
Have
you.
a safe trip home, and we hope to see you back very soon.
Hopefully.
Thank you.